Presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. We're live in New York City on this Friday. It is September 10th, and we have one game down, the official kickoff to the 2020
It was exciting, too, man. I'm pumped up.
You and I sort of watched the game the same way. We're going to get some highlights right now. Michael Robinson, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt. My name is Kay Adams, and let's go to Raymond James.
I think we should. Kickoff special. Does anybody want 108 pass attempts in the opener? What? These things are supposed to be wonky. Super Bowl champs, that's 2 for the Buccaneers, 2020-2002. Shout out Joe Juravicious. Tom Brady was there. Another season, these pesky repeat seasons. You can't get them down. Second quarter, we're going to jump ahead of the action. 16-14 Dallas. He's looking for AB.
Look at the pocket movement. He stepped up.
Beautiful. AB, almost 12,000 yards receiving in his career. Ain't he good?
Yes.
He had touchdowns by Godwin, Lamb, Gronk, Amari, and then AB, now 21-19. Look at this little rope-a-dope.
Go, Gronk.
Gronk. That's his second touchdown of the night, just like he had 2 in the soup, Mike.
A little hot route right there. Caught a defensive end in coverage.
Gronk looked good.
Looked really good.
2013 Gronk.
He looked great, and so did this guy. 28-19, Dak down. Look at this beautiful little float. Pow! Amari Cooper looked really good. Had a huge night. He's shaking up here, but he'll be all right. Dak looked like an all-pro.
Elite.
Like an MVP?
Bring it out here. Fourth quarter, 28-26 Tampa. Chris Godwin can put this thing away with about 5 minutes left. Fumble! Guys, it's loose, and the Cowboys have it. Wait to see the replay, because they kept the Cowboys in it. This is DeMonte Casey, an old Dan Quinn guy from Atlanta, now with Dallas. Puts the shoulder right on the ball. Saves Dallas that night, right? I mean, that was good. Godwin, would he get a chance to redeem himself? Let's find out. This is shaping up to be Disney stuff here. Down to Dak on a 3rd and 11. Who's he going to, Peter?
C.D.
Let's go! Woo! Get that man down. Get him down. All right, so they're going to score a touchdown and flip the table here.
Do something, huh?
They burn a few downs, and they come on, and it's Zuerlein who's been a little shaky. Mr. Jones. Yes, he hit the post. Zuerlein, 48-yarder. Butter. The Cowboys take the lead. You know what's ugly about that kick?
It's too much time.
124. That's a lot of meat on that bone for that man. I mean, that can be an hour, 24 minutes. Already in the Cowboys territory. Hashtag atone for Chris Godwin. Got it. I thought it was a ball flop in the pass interference. Yes, back shoulder, beautiful throw. Go ahead, Peter.
They're not calling offensive pass interference in this game.
Get out of here. They're calling him Suck Up, and Suck Up is a pro, and he balls up. Unbelievable football game. 31-29. Mike McCarthy crestfallen. The Buccaneers, look at Brady and Dak. Was like, did we just combine for 7 touchdowns? Yeah, we did, man. There's it. Look at all the stats. Oh, my gosh. There's the 7. 13 for 139 for Amari. 890 and 2. And wow, this one, you don't see many better football games. Not openers, better football games ever. Tom, Brady, we got to ask you, how does this feel compared to last year when you started your first game as a Buccaneer?
Last year sucked after the first game. Let me say that. That was come a long way from 365 days ago. That was a pretty lonely feeling after the game there in the Superdome. But, you know, again, we won. It's great. But, you know, we know that it was a far from perfect, and we've got to get back to work and clean a lot of stuff up. Not a perfect game. There's obviously a lot to kind of unpack from this one, but it's a good football team. You know, they have a really good offense. They have a, you know, very sound defense. They have a lot of good players on defense. So it's a good team. We're going to have to, you know, we obviously got a lot to clean up.
Bunch of turnovers, a couple uncharacteristic drops by the defending champs, but they pull out the win. Mike, what was your takeaway from the Bucs on opening night? Tom Brady looks like he's 2007. That second drive was 2007, Tom Brady.
Man, this game was amazing. I mean, it was a fantasy game, right? You saw the stats and things like that. To me, Tampa Bay does not win this game without the general, Tom Brady. All championship teams look back in the season and say, man, there were some games we weren't supposed to win. This game was one of those games Tampa Bay wasn't supposed to win. They lost the turnover margin. They lost the time of possession. You see what I'm saying? They turned the football over, all of those things, and they still came out as the winner. Again, this team does not do this without Tom Brady. I thought he picked on my guy Michael Parsons a little bit in the middle of the field, which is going to be a learning lesson for Dallas, and he definitely showed the chemistry with those wide receivers and all the guys that we've seen. We didn't see this type of chemistry early in the season last year, but we saw it last night. Then on the flip side, The Dallas Cowboys, man, did Dak look good, man. He looked comfortable. I can't lie. I did not think he was going to look this comfortable. I didn't think they were going to throw the ball 58 times. Even Dak expressed that, like, man, I didn't think we were going to throw the ball 58 times. Yeah. But they did. But this is not a winning ingredient for the Dallas Cowboys. Anytime Dak Prescott throws the ball 40-plus times, they're 4-11. They lose. This team is built from a personnel standpoint. I know they didn't have Zach Martin, their best player last night, is built to run the football, have their quarterback have some movement in it as well, and be explosive in the passing game. They were missing that running game, guys. They barely attempted running the football. It was only 32 rush attempts in the whole game for both teams. You see what I'm saying? So I think Tampa Bay, they showed their resiliency. They showed the fact that Tom Brady's the general. They wouldn't have won that game without him. But if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan right now, there are no moral victories, but I'm feeling pretty good right now about my quarterback and how this offense looks.
Got to feel really good if you're a Cowboys fan. I think you got to feel even better if you're a Buccaneers fan because that wasn't their best effort. No. Tampa Bay looked sloppy yesterday at times. Brady's unbelievable. Brady, with 90 seconds left, is going to find a way to get in that field goal range. But this was a game of mistakes and errors that was overshadowed by Brady's greatness. Take a look at some of these simple plays. This was early on. It's like, okay, that's an interception now on the 20-yard line. Like, that's a killer from Fournette right there, where it's right in his hands. But it wasn't just Leonard Fournette in one play. Here's the play to Godwin where you're like, oh my God, Brady looks great. Godwin wide open. That's supposed to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL. Like, bring that down. And then Godwin in crunch time here to put the game away. You score this touchdown or you go down on the 3-yard line. It's over. It's done. And he fumbles. Like, they had to overcome a lot of things. This is a weird stat I saw, though. The Buccaneers were the first team in the last 81 years of NFL regular season games to still win despite losing the turnover margin, not by 1, not by 2, but by 3, and give up 30 first downs.
Guaranteed to lose. You're almost guaranteed to lose.
It's nearly impossible. 81 years. Yeah. And yet, at the end, they win by 2, and they march on for the day. And we'll be going nuts all day about how great Dak looked. And Buccaneers are 1-0. Cowboys are 0-1. The Buccaneers found a way to get the win, and to me, that's kind of the sign of a true champion. It's a little scary. They did not play great last night, and they still found a way.
I agree, and I think if you woke up this morning, you didn't see the game, you saw the game, you're waking up to the Bucs won, and Dak was absolutely incredible. Incredible. Like, I think that is actually even bigger. Brady's a cyborg. The Bucs are the champs. They won. That's great. Dak Prescott's incredible. Let's set the context. If you didn't see the piece he did last night with Maria Taylor, they talked about his rehab, and Dak saying it was a matter of months ago that my touchdown was wiggling my toes. He said he would have his girlfriend touch one of his toes, and he would have to tell her, which toe are you touching? And he would pick up marbles with his feet and transport them and drop. That's what this guy was doing. And he throws 58 passes last night. So what was the first pass ever? Are they going to do something simple, a little drop-off? He's backed up in his own end zone and waits. He waits. He's like, I got your marbles right here. Bam! That was it. It was so incredible that he did this. Us as a show have been in this paralysis of, oh, my God, what is Dak going to be like? What is he not going to be like? Peter's doing incredible Zapruder tape film analysis of Dak throwing cake in Hard Knocks, but moves it to his left hand because his right hand's not right. I'm alarmist about their consulting the Texas Rangers trainers because it's a baseball injury. Is Dak going to play? We had scales. Dak played. Dak looked like an all-pro. He threw 58 passes. He didn't win because Brady. Dak, I think the Cowboys should be excited last night. You had a tough matchup that you lost on a last-second field goal. Dak looked incredible. I'm so impressed, and I'm so proud of him.
Feeling pretty good about my MVP pick.
You took Dak.
Yeah.
There you go.
It looked pretty good out there. CD Lamb looked great. He had a couple drops early, but it paid off. Quick shout out to Gronk just on the Bucs side, deserving all of it. He came on our show. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
I think it did.
It does. I mean, he's got 3 Super Bowl championships. He's going for his very 4th, but incredible play by him. 90 yards, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. He and Brady looking on the same page as ever before. Weirdly, he wasn't in anybody's top 12 in fantasy football. I put him in there. I think he should be in there. I think he'll be in there week in, week out as both of these teams figure this stuff out. Yeah, Schrags, you're the only one of the people that didn't have the Cowboys as a division winner or in the playoff picture. Anything yet? Not until you see the rest of the NFC.
I'll say that it's going to be really hard to stop that offense every week. And I don't know if Washington's offense is going to be able to put up points against that team. I don't know if the Giants and the Eagles have the offense to keep up. Their offense looked so good last night, and yet they lost, and their defense showed a lot of issues. The Dallas defense was not good last night. They were opportunistic. They're going to be the same team they were last year, I think. Except Dak's going to be in the lineup.
We're going to get into this.
You think
that
so?
offense was weird last night.
Might not be the
we're gonna
offense
get
we
to
see
the
him in.
Cowboys
They didn't even try. It was very strange.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I want to get your opinion on the Cowboys side of things a little bit later on in the show, but let's welcome in Ian Rappaport. Here's here with some big news out of the AFC North with us this morning. Ian Sider, what's the latest with TJ Watt? His contract, what's going on with him and the Steelers, and then their rivals there in the AFC North, the Ravens. More injury news, but hopefully some help on the way.
Well, we'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers and TJ Watt. That massive deal that we have been wondering about. Is it going to happen? Is he going to be ready for week one? Is he practicing? It all happened yesterday for TJ Watt. Around late afternoon, he agreed to terms on just a huge deal. 4 years, $112 million. That's more than $28 million per year, the highest paid defensive player in football, richly earned, well-deserved. Obviously, this is something teammates have been fighting for in public the last several days, but privately, this is something his agents and the Steelers have been working on. $80 million fully guaranteed. That is significant because it is precedent-setting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They never do full guarantees into year 2 or even into year 3. This deal has it. Minka Fitzpatrick next for the Steelers. We'll keep an eye on that over the next year or so, but obviously a huge day for TJ Watt. As good as it was for the Steelers, it was that bad for the Baltimore Ravens. During practice yesterday, back-to-back plays, sources say they lost 2 of their key players. Marcus Peters, their Pro Bowl corner, went down with a torn ACL, and then Gus Edwards, their now starting running back with other running back injuries, he also went down with a torn ACL. Both of those guys are out for the season. So what the Baltimore Ravens did shortly after this news is try to stock up on reinforcements. Devontae Freeman joins their practice squad, and they are now working on a deal for Latavius Murray, the former Saints running back. That also should get done today.
Said it earlier this week. Yes, Ravens add our guy. So I was going to say he can come sit at our table if he wants to. Hopefully Murray pans out there for the Ravens and sticks. We'll see how it shakes out. And we thank you, Ian Rappaport. I mean, Tyson Williams, is this the guy I'm adding in fantasy? Gus Edwards down, Triggs, what do you think?
I want to just go over just how horrific this scene was yesterday in Baltimore. So I spoke to the sources there who were down in Owings Mills. So on one play, Gus Edwards in a non-contact drill tears his ACL the same month that they lost their running back Justice Hill to an Achilles and J.K. Dobbins to a freak injury in a preseason game. The very next player, consecutive plays, Marcus Peters, one of the most opportunistic, best cornerbacks in all of football, on a drill that he has done tens of thousands of times, a simple non-contact deal where they're practicing their breaks, tears his ACL. Back-to-back plays. Harbaugh called practice, said, we're done. Let's just go back in. They've got a game on Monday night in Vegas. Like, we could talk about Tyson Williams and Latavius Murray. The physical and emotional toll that this last few weeks has had on the Ravens, it's going to take a heck of a coaching effort out of John Harbaugh to get these guys to be what they thought they were going to be before the season started.
Maybe a blessing if they have that extra day. They do play Monday night against the Las Vegas Raiders. More Good Morning Football on the way. We'll get all the